Tung Sakhur and his lively friends were known throughout their village for their endless energy and wild imaginations. One sunny morning, they gathered at the old wooden bench where Tung always kept his trusty baseball bat. Tralalelo, tralala, they sang joyfully, their voices echoing through the air as they planned their next big adventure. Suddenly, with a splash in the nearby river, Bombardiro Crocodilo emerged, his tail flicking playfully. Ready for a quest? Bombardiro grinned, showing his sharp but friendly teeth. Without hesitation, Tung and the gang set off into the mysterious forest, where the trees whispered secrets and shadows danced. Along the way, they faced crazy challenges. Tricky riddles from the talking owls, slippery stones that seemed to move on their own, and even a wild gust of wind that almost blew their hats away. But through every laugh, stumble, and cheer, their friendship grew stronger. They sang their favorite chant, Tralalelo, tralala, to keep their spirits high, and with Bombardiro Crocodilo's strength and Tung's clever bat swings, no obstacle was too big. As the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, the friends knew one thing for sure. Together, every day was a magical adventure worth living. As Tung Sakhur and his friends ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew cooler, and the trees seemed to lean closer, whispering secrets just out of earshot. Suddenly, Flippy, the energetic flip-flop, bounced ahead and stopped short. "Look!" he shouted. There, shimmering between the roots of a giant oak, was a glowing, swirling portal. Tralalelo, tralala, the friends cheered, their chant echoing through the woods. Without hesitation, they jumped into the portal and found themselves in a dazzling new world, full of floating islands, talking animals, and puzzling mazes made of crystal. But their adventure wasn't easy. A mischievous, puzzle-loving robot named Click-Clack challenged them at every turn, throwing riddles and traps to slow them down. "Solve me this," Click-Clack buzzed, "or get stuck forever." Tung gripped his trusty baseball bat tighter. Bombardiro Crocodilo flicked his tail with determination. And Spooky, the shadowy jokester, whispered funny jokes to lighten the mood. Together, they laughed, thought, and fought their way through. Because they knew that with friendship, courage, and a little silliness, no challenge was too great. As night fell, the stars above twinkled like diamonds. The friends set up camp on one of the floating islands, sharing stories and dreaming about their next wild adventure. Tralalelo, tralala, Tung sang softly, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "Tomorrow," Bombardiro said with a grin, "we make our own legend." The next morning, the friends awoke to a sky painted with colors they had never seen before. Swirling pinks, glowing blues, and shimmering golds. Flippy bounced excitedly. "Today's the day we find the legendary Crystal Heart," he exclaimed. The Crystal Heart was said to grant endless courage and strength to whoever found it. Exactly what Tung and his friends needed to complete their quest and return home. Their path led to a towering mountain made of shining quartz. As they climbed, the air buzzed with magic, and the ground beneath their feet sparkled like stars. But the mountain was guarded by the tricky puzzle guardians, ancient statues that came alive when approached, asking riddles that tested the mind and spirit. "Answer wisely," one statue boomed, "or be trapped forever in the mountain's glow." Tung stepped forward, gripping his bat tightly. The friends exchanged nervous glances, but trusted each other's strength. One by one, they solved the riddles, their teamwork shining brighter than the mountain crystals. At last, they reached the peak, where the crystal heart floated, pulsing with radiant light. Tung reached out and touched it, and suddenly felt a surge of power and warmth flow through him. Tralalelo, tralala, they all shouted in joy, ready for whatever came next. Just as Tung Tung Sakhur and his friends celebrated their victory, the ground beneath them began to tremble. The crystal heart's light flickered, then shattered into 1,000 glowing shards, scattering into the sky. From the shadows emerged a mysterious figure, the Shadow Weaver, a powerful being who fed on fear and doubt. You may have the heart's power, but can you face your own shadows? The Shadow Weaver whispered, eyes gleaming with challenge. Tung looked at his friends, then back at the dark figure. We're not afraid, he said firmly. Together, we're stronger than any shadow. Flippy bounced up and down. Bombardiro flicked his tail confidently, and Spooky cracked a grin. With a deep breath, Tung gripped his bat tight and stepped forward. The battle for their world and their friendship was just beginning. The Shadow Weaver lunged forward, tendrils of darkness swirling like storms. Tung Sakhur swung his bat with all his might, sending glowing sparks flossing. But the Shadow Weaver was fast, slipping through the shadows and striking with eerie precision. Flippy bounced around wildly, distracting the enemy with his unpredictable moves, while Bombardiro Crocodilo used his mighty tail to block attacks and shield his friends. Spooky darted through the darkness, using his shadowy tricks to confuse and mislead the Weaver. Tralalelo, tralala, they chanted together, their voices a beacon of light and hope. The battle was fierce, but their bond was fiercer. With every swing, jump, and laugh, they pushed the darkness back, proving that courage and friendship could conquer even the deepest shadows. As the first rays of dawn broke through, the Shadow Weaver vanished, defeated for now. Tung smiled at his friends, breathless but triumphant. This is just the beginning, he said. But together, there's nothing we can't face. With the Shadow Weaver gone, Tung Sakhur and his friends felt a brief moment of peace. But the forest still whispered secrets. Hints of new challenges and unknown worlds beyond the floating islands. Sitting around their campfire, Bombardiro Crocodilo told tales of ancient heroes who once wielded the Crystal Heart's power, while Spooky playfully spooked Flippy, making everyone laugh under the starry sky. Tung looked up, feeling the weight and wonder of their journey. We've come so far, he said softly, but I know the real adventure is just beginning. Suddenly, a faint glow shimmered in the distance, a new portal, pulsing with energy unlike anything they'd seen before. Ready for round two? Tung grinned, tightening his grip on the bat. Tralalelo, tralala, the friends echoed, standing tall together, ready for whatever the universe threw their way. The legend of Tung Sakhur and his wild crew was far from over, and the best stories were yet to come. The new portal sucked them in like a whirlwind, spinning colors and sounds blending into a dizzying storm. When the world finally settled, Tung Sakhur and his friends found themselves in a strange land. A giant arcade filled with towering game machines and flashing neon lights. Whoa, this is insane, Flippy exclaimed, bouncing excitedly. Suddenly, a booming voice echoed, "Welcome to the arcade arena. Only the bravest survive." A gigantic pixelated monster emerged from one of the machines. The boss Glitch, known for trapping players forever in endless loops of challenges. Tung tightened his grip on the bat. We've faced shadows and puzzles. Now it's time to play for real. Bombardiro swung his tail to smash buttons, Spooky vanished into the arcade shadows to spy, and Flippy zipped between obstacles with lightning speed. Together, they battled through levels of madness, dodging fireballs, solving pixel puzzles, and racing against a ticking timer. Tra-la-lello, tra-la-la, they shouted, their chant rallying their spirits. Every victory brought them closer to escaping the arcade. But the boss glitch was clever, always one step ahead. The final level lit up in neon fury as the boss glitch roared, glitches crackling around him like lightning. Tung Sakhur stepped forward, bat glowing with newfound power from the crystal heart. "This ends now," Tung declared, eyes blazing with determination. The boss charged, pixel fists smashing down. But Tung dodged, swinging his bat in wide arcs that shattered glitches into sparkles. Bombardiro's tail smashed the glowing buttons, controlling the arena traps, while Flippy zipped through the chaos, distracting the beast. Spooky vanished into the shadows, launching surprise attacks that left the boss staggered. "Tra-la-lello, tra-la-la," the friends chanted, their voices combining into a powerful harmony that lit the arena with hope. With a final, mighty swing, Tung shattered the boss glitch's core, and the arena exploded into a shower of colorful pixels. Breathing hard, the friends found themselves back at the village bench, bat resting beside Tung. "Did that really happen?" Flippy asked, wide-eyed. Tung smiled. "Whether it did or not, we faced it, together." And with that, the legend of Tung Sakhur and his friends grew even brighter. A story of friendship, courage, and wild adventures that would never end.